Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Governor, for being here today. We have been impacted in Arkansas by some of these proposed changes, both in my district, which is around Little Rock and the Little Rock Air Force Base, as it relates to the transfer of aircraft to Little Rock Air Force Base. But on the National Guard side of things, we're particularly impacted as it relates to Fort Smith, where we have A-10s. And that is in my colleague, Representative Womack's district. But we have all, as a delegation, been working to try to figure out the logic of the Air Force's decision to take the A-10s that are based in Fort Smith and move them out of state. And we have met with everybody there is to meet with, pretty much, except for the President. We met in the delegation, Democrat and Republican, met with Secretary Panetta. We've met with 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, all the way down. And what we want more than anything are facts and analysis that we can read. You would think that decisions like this, involving millions and millions and billions of dollars in some instances, would involve at least a memo. With all the people they got working over at the Pentagon, you'd think that they're not just sitting around the table, making oral decisions without something documented. What we have found is that there's nothing that they can point to, that the folks in the Air Force can point to justify some of the decisions. And I would tell you that BRAC, the 2005 BRAC concluded, quote, Fort Smith is an ideal location for the A-10, end quote. And there are a lot of different reasons for that I won't go into. But what we've said is, look, we're not going to come out as a delegation against this from the start. We just want to see how you got there, why you would take a high-value location and just say we're going to move the A-10s. And all we've been able to get out of the Air Force is, and I don't know if they meant to say this, but all we've been able to get is, well, there was sort of an idea that we want to have some aircraft capability in every state. So that means that we're going to have to just rearrange a lot of aircraft and a lot of capabilities, whether it's a good decision from a military perspective or not. They just, I don't know if it was politically driven, but they just wanted to share the wealth and have something in every state. So I say all that to say we are very frustrated with the lack of data, hard data, that we could study. And I would just like to get your comments and find out whether you have encountered similar problems. And again, we've met with everybody. We've asked everybody. And I would also say this, and this is a little bit unrelated to today's hearing, but we have been fighting similarly with regard to the AMP, the avionics modernization program upgrades that the Air Force wants to cancel. A lot of that affects C-130s, that does affect C-130s at Little Rock Air Force Base. Similarly, with regard to that, we've been asking for facts and how they got to the decision that it was more cost-effective to take the route that they want to take. And again, no memos, no internal deliberations that we've been able to see, just a fact sheet, and they say, well, here it is. So I'd like to know, have you had difficulty getting data, and what do you think's going on?
Well, I think we've had many of the same frustrations you've had, just getting data, having a transparency. I mentioned, we were supposed to be consulted in advance. We weren't. And we think, and I just think the process needs to be improved. We're supposed to have collaboration and consultation on these things, and it seems to me that the Air Force in particular has just failed to do this. And this is something that obviously we're going to bring up again when we meet with them. But again, we have to get their attention. We need to get the top people that are supposed to be working with the governors to actually be there in attendance, so we have that opportunity to bring this message across. But I think your frustration as a congressman is very similar to the frustration that we have as governors, and we feel, we are the commander-in-chief of our National Guard, and if we don't have the capability we need and we have an emergency in our state, it's our responsibility. So we want to make sure, and my experience has always been, all the years I've been governor, I've had the honor of serving a long time, the Guard has always been there. They've always responded. They've done a phenomenal job. I just want to make sure that they're always going to be able to do that.
The gentleman's time has expired. The